Hello, I'm DK Singh. I'm here in Bengaluru with our Bengaluru correspondent Sharan Poovanna. We have brought a brilliant young leader to discuss Karnataka elections with you. Tejasvi Surya, Bengaluru South MP and National President of the Bharatiya Janata Yuva Morcha. Tejasvi, thank you so much for talking to us. We have been looking at surveys done by different agencies, and the BJP is supposed to be, is being shown as, lagging a bit. So usually surveys are giving either a fractured verdict or giving a lead to the Congress. What's your take on that?
Singh Sahab, I have travelled at least to 50-60 constituencies in Karnataka over the last few months and have spent quite a lot of time on the ground talking to our karyakartas, the local important influential voters, the general public, and have sensed the pulse on the ground. I can tell you with certainty that all of these surveys and reports that you mentioned will fall flat on the 13th of May when the real electors will speak. The last 3.5 years, the state has seen unprecedented development brought by the double engine government. It has indeed touched lives of people directly. And only on that basis, on that confidence, I can tell you that the BJP will very comfortably sail through the halfway mark. The next government in Karnataka is going to be a BJP government, 100%.
But if you're talking about governance, we haven't really seen the party declaring CM Bommai as the party's face, somebody who will come back as the chief minister if the party wins. So if there is so much of trust in his governance, why is this ambivalence about your CM candidate post-elections?
I see this ambivalence only with you and some other people who are political commentators. I don't see this ambivalence within the party. I don't see this ambivalence among the karyakartas nor with the general public. Mr. Bommai is our very well-performing chief minister. He has solved and addressed some of the most important legacy issues of the state. It was under his leadership that issues like internal reservations, which were pending from so many decades, has finally got addressed. In a very politically dexterous manner, he handled it. In a very sensitive manner, he handled it. He has been the chief minister who has brought in great development by clearing projects like the Upper Bhadra project, the Mahadai project DPR. He ensured that the city of Bengaluru gets the long pending suburban rail project. The infrastructure for Bengaluru city is developed. Under his leadership, the Beyond Bengaluru development initiatives, which is a very important policy approach of this government, that has got an impetus. So, in fact, the leadership that the Prime Minister has given to the country at the center and the complementing leadership that is very much needed at the state level has been provided by Mr. Bommai here, and he is as Chief Minister face today, and he is a leader of the state BJP for today and for tomorrow as well.
But what we have seen is you have 10 BJP MLAs and MLCs who have quit the party to join other parties. You see, after a long time, we saw some BJP workers coming out on the streets and protesting against ticket distribution. You have some senior leaders, somebody like Mr. Shettar, who has been here in the party since Jansangh days, quitting the party. We saw Saudi. Again,
Singh Sahab, I can tell you only this much. You have seen the BJP from close. You know that the BJP is a cadre-based party. It is not leader-based party. As long as the cadre is strong, there is nothing for the BJP to worry. And I can give you in writing, in all of these seats that you mentioned, the BJP is going to emerge victorious because the cadre in all of these seats remains more inspired and more charged than ever before.
You are saying that removing Yediyurappa really worked for the party or what?
This whole terminology of saying removed is itself something that I take very strong objection to. It is only in the BJP where you have the practice of senior leaders voluntarily making space and grooming the next generation of leadership. And in Karnataka, this practice, this parampara, this tradition has been led by none other than our tallest leader, Shri Yediyurappa ji. You have seen how gracefully K. S. Ishwarappa ji has groom the next generation of leadership there. In the same way, you see all across the country, senior leaders making way for the next generation of leaders. Because this is again going back to our core principle. This is a cadre-based party. Leaders come from amongst the cadre. Leaders are groomed from amongst the cadre. The difference today between the BJP and the Congress is that you will very easily mention at least 15 names in the BJP who can be the second generation, third generation, fourth generation of leaders. Whereas you will not be able to mention such names, whether it is in the Congress party or any of the dynasty-based parties across the country. So, coming back to where I started, I take strong objection to the usage of this term that somebody was removed. Because removing anybody is not a part of the BJP culture.
So you were saying B.S. Yediyurappa he voluntarily gave up.
He voluntarily gave up contesting in electoral politics. Even today, if you open today's newspaper, because before this interview, I was reading the newspaper, the leader making the highest number of pravas today, addressing the largest number of Jansabhas today in Karnataka is B.S. Yediyurappa ji. He is our number one leader in Karnataka. The whole practice that to be active in the BJP, to be at the forefront of leading roles in the BJP, one has to be an electorally, should also hold an electoral position, is something that is very difficult for people outside of the BJP ecosystem to even understand, let alone digest.
So you're talking about this how the party promotes next generation leaders. Let me talk about you. As a young MP, you became an MP when you were just 28. What all have you achieved? And there's been a lot of talk recently after the BJP star campaigners list came out. You were missing from there, it made headlines. So what have you been up to, and how do you explain this fact that the party has not put you in the star campaigners list?
Because I am not any star, DK Singh Saab. I am a very normal karyakarta of the party. There are a lot of important responsibilities the party allots to all karyakartas. As an MP of Bengaluru South, there are 5 assembly constituencies in my constituency which does not have the physical presence of a BJP MLA today, which responsibility is on my shoulders today. Like I told you, I have traveled to more than 50-60 assembly constituencies across Karnataka campaigning for our candidates. This star campaigner list, not star campaigner list, ये सब issues जो है ये media के लिए है, because you can make some articles, clickbait articles, some TRP, etc. For party and party karyakartas, none of these is an issue at all.
And the fact is, many of the young faces like Pratap Singh, Raghavendra, Vijayan, they don't figure in the list of star campaigners.
Because none of us are stars. B.Y. Vijayendra ji, Pratap Singh ji, B.Y. Raghavendra, P. Rajiv Kuduchi, all are young leaders of Karnataka. We are all important karyakartas functioning on the ground. Therefore, the party has not put it perhaps on the star campaigners list, because the party wants us to utilize our resources and energy in different activities. Like I said, this is a non-issue for the BJP, but it is an important issue for the print. I even remember you made a long article about this. So like I said, it's a non-issue for us.
And you'll be traveling across the state to campaign for different candidates.
Yes, I have been. Follow my social media.
There's perception that there's a bit of doubt in the minds of Lingayats whether they will continue to back the BJP and the Vokkaligas. You carved out 2 new categories in the backward reservations. Then you made some changes, removing Muslims out of the equation from the backward. As an advocate yourself, do you think this will hold up in law?
What existed all these days in Karnataka, in my humble opinion, was a constitutional anomaly. The 4% reservation based only on the on religion is something that the constitution abhors. But from 1994 to now, this unconstitutional practice, this constitutional anomaly existed unhindered. What we have now tried to do is to remove this constitutional anomaly and bring in real social justice by allotting that reservation to people who really deserve it. So the question rather should be to those who practiced this for so many years as to why did you bring into practice something so blatantly unconstitutional? Was it done only to strengthen somebody's vote banks?
But you had a government even from 2008 to 2013. At that time, this wasn't removed. Now it's come up.
Well, that's what I'm telling you. That even all these days, the fact that it remained was something wrong. And the moment we got to know that this constitutional anomaly had to be set right, we have done that.
General impression is, you talk about scrapping Muslim quota, you talk about how the BJP has been harping on Tipu Sultan, we talk about...
No, BJP has not been harping on Tipu Sultan, DK Singh Saab. The very first time somebody made Tipu Sultan a hero in Karnataka and even brought this issue into public debate was Mr. Siddaramaiah by celebrating Tipu Jayanti. The BJP speaks of development, they speak of Tipu Jayanti. If you have seen any of our debates, any of our speeches, it has been a reaction to this issue of celebrating a tyrant. He is in the middle of a debate only because the Congress party deemed fit to celebrate him using state funds. So our response to it was a reaction. It was not as though the BJP invented this issue.
A few weeks back, I was interviewing Mr. Siddaramaiah, and he said that Tipu Sultan was a freedom fighter, and the BJP has to read history. What do you have to say about this?
The people of Karnataka who have lived here have memories of the trauma that has been associated with Tipu Sultan's rule. You are anyway in Karnataka. My request to you is to please go to Madikeri. Talk to a few people there about what their civilizational memory, historical memory is about Tipu Sultan's rule. Please go to the Mandya Mayangars in Srirangapatna. Ask them what their memories are. They will be better advocates on what real history is than Mr. Siddaramaiah or me or any other historian. Because they have literally seen his rule. Their ancestors have been killed. Many have been maimed. They have lost their houses and temples. Their properties have been vandalized. They will give you a first-hand account. History should never be subjected to political prejudices and political agendas. History should be nothing but truth and only the truth. And the best people to give you the unvarnished version of truth is these people that I mentioned.
Tejasvi, I know you have to go for a meeting, so I'll wind up with my last question. Your portrayal, you can blame the media for this or in political circles. You are being portrayed as a Hindutva firebrand. Do you agree to that projection?
See, to be very honest with you, I do not actually, place too much of importance to this projection of media, media-created image, etc. I am a very committed Karyakarta of this party. I have been so from the time I have started reading Swami Vivekananda, Sri Aurobindo, Savarkar and such other ideological leaders. I am a very simple Karyakarta who does not shy away from wearing my convictions up my sleeve very honestly. The media wants to project it in certain way. In fact, I would say that
an anti-Muslim statement. That's a projection you've got.
Most of the times, I feel that I have been, in fact, even the print itself, many times I feel has not been very accurate in presenting even the positions that I have taken. And therefore, like I told you, I do not attach too much importance to the image that or the perception that media tries to create. I honestly believe that our work that connects to people, the work that we do every day that touches the lives of people in my constituency, the work that I do within the party in the capacity of the Yuva Morcha, which is seen by our leadership, which is seen by our peers, that is more important than the certificates that any external agency ever hands over.
So what you're saying is your priority is development, not any ideological pursuit, in fact, as the way,
See, this again is trying to say that development and ideology are two very different things. For the BJP, or at least for me, I can tell you that the growth of Bharat is both the cultural growth of Bharat as well as its economic growth. Therefore, this whole artificial dichotomy that certain commentators try to bring in, saying that development and cultural growth are two different parallel tracks, is something that I do not agree at all. When we speak of Vishwaguru Bharat, when we speak of a civilizationally resurgent India, it is an India that is strong both materially, both economically, militarily, spiritually, in every way. And that is the large vision that the Sangh, that the BJP, that countless and millions of Karyakartas like me, this is the larger vision that inspires all of us to work.
But this vision has also led to, minorities feeling more and more isolated. We've seen that in Karnataka with several issues, the hijab, azan, keeping...
Who brought all of these issues up? Even in this debate, I wanted to speak on how we have been able to clear the suburban rail project, which was pending from 40 years and which we are getting to completion within 40 months. We want to speak on how we have solved the internal reservation issue and truly ensured social justice. We are here going to people telling them that this is the state government which has taken development truly outside of Bengaluru through the Beyond Bengaluru campaign. So much so that in the recently concluded Global Investor Summit in Bengaluru, 90% of the committed investment came outside of Bengaluru. These are the issues which we are going to the people. In my own constituency of Bengaluru, Poovanna sir, 90% of more than 90 lakh beneficiaries of the Prime Minister's schemes are there who are directly or indirectly beneficiaries of one or the other central government schemes. In Bangalore, you will find close to 1 crore people. These are the agendas, these are the things with which we are going. This is the state government which has built and honored the legacy of Kempe Gowda, who is the great founder of this city, which is India's fastest growing city and the growth engine of the south of India. We have celebrated the legacy of Basaveshwara, one of the largest, biggest respected cultural icons of Karnataka. So for us, there is no dichotomy between material growth, economic growth, and the cultural growth of the civilization. It is all interlinked because our view is very integral. Our view is comprehensive. Our view is wholesome. This is the vision with which we are going to people. We are not having issues. It is the issue of Tipu Sultan was brought by the Congress. The issue of hijab was started by the SDPI. The issue of Nandini and milk was again started by the Congress. While the Congress is trying to harp on issues that will divide the state, we are here trying to take development in the mantra of the Prime Minister, Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas. People are seeing this difference very clearly. And on the 10th of May, the people of Karnataka are going to reward the BJP handsomely for the development that we have already brought about and the promise and the hope that the BJP is promising for the next 5 years of a shared prosperity and fast-paced development in Karnataka.
Sorry, I can't help asking just one more question because you're the Bengaluru South MP. And there has been a lot of talk about Bengaluru's infrastructure. We saw how the floods, the kind of chaos it created. And the other day we heard one of the judges in Punjab making a comment that don't make Chandigarh another Bengaluru. That kind of image of...
I want to address this head on. I feel that I'm not saying this as an MP of Bengaluru. I'm saying this as a person who has grown in Bengaluru and who loves this city to its bits. I feel that, and I have traveled to all important cities in India. I can tell you that compared to many other cities, the Bengaluru's traffic is not as horrible as many other cities, but unfortunately the whole stereotype that has been attached to Bengaluru, I think is unjustified. Many times it has become a ritual. It's become some kind of a fashion. Somebody gets out of the flight in Bengaluru airport, comes out and immediately puts out a tweet saying that stuck in Bangalore traffic. It's as though it's a culture that somebody has to follow. Having said that, it is very important that I have to address the elephant in the room. In the last 30 years, the city has seen unprecedented development. The economic growth of the city and the infrastructure growth of the city perhaps has not, in all honesty, met with each other and has not been corresponding. One of the important reasons for that, like I told earlier, is that the state government and the central governments earlier to the Narendra Modi government were sitting simply on approving important infrastructure projects for Bengaluru. Take the case of Bengaluru Suburban Rail project for that matter. This is a project that is older than me. I am 32 years old, DK Singh Saab. Today, the project, Suburban Rail project, is 40 years old. What were the earlier governments doing? So what was earlier the suburban part is now become the urban part because of the 40-year delay. I can tell you that no prime minister in the history of India has done to Bengaluru's infrastructure as much as Prime Minister Narendra Modi has done. 40 years se pending Suburban Rail project, the Prime Minister did the inauguration of the foundation stone laying, and he promised that it will be completed in 40 months. The STRR project, the Satellite Township Ring Road project, pending again from so many years. The NHAI is doing it at a war speed. Today, 15,000 crores has been sanctioned by the central government and the project is happening in full swing. The metro connectivity of the city, which is another important public infrastructure. More than 50 kilometers of metro connectivity has been added by the BJP in the last few years. 2014, the total metro connectivity in Bengaluru was only 7 kilometers. Today it is 70. By the end of next year, it will be 100. The International Airport Terminal 2, it was in 2019 that the Prime Minister came and did the foundation stone. Despite 2 years of COVID, 2022, it was thrown open to public. It is one of the best airport terminals in the world. BMTC, which is the largest public transport fleet of the city, the bus carrier of the city. In the last few years, almost 5 to 6 years, more than that in fact, the fleet size of the BMTC remained stagnant. Thanks to again the double engine government, we have added 1,500 electric buses under the FAME scheme. Whether it is through electric buses, through suburban, through STRR, through metro, through airport, or through the greenfield expressways the government has created, keeping Bangalore as the hub or the node. Bengaluru Mysuru, Bengaluru Chennai, Bengaluru Vishakhapatnam, Bengaluru Pune, Bengaluru Hyderabad, Surat Chennai. All of these is going to transform the infrastructure of the city as we know it today. The International Monetary Fund has projected Bengaluru to be the world's fastest growing city for the next 15 years. And I can very confidently tell you, thanks to the Prime Minister's contribution to all of these infrastructure creation, Bengaluru will be the fastest growing engine of growth for India in the coming years.
All that you have said, we would like to, finally get to the prediction part of it. What do you predict will be the numbers on May 13th? And
the BJP will be forming the government on the 13th of May with a comfortable majority.
And there won't
100%.
There won't be any need to take MLAs from anywhere.
The BJP will be forming a government on our own strength on the 13th of May, 100%.
What is the number? Is there a
It will be our government. Number ke farak kya padta hai?